You may not be religious, you might not care who the next pope is, but here's the thing. Decisions made in this tiny walled city can influence policies in your own country, even your rights. This man in white can impact diplomacy, global law, and health policy. And no, you don't have to be a Catholic for that to matter. So who is the Pope really? Sure, he's the spiritual head of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics, but he's much more than that. He's also the head of the state of the Vatican, a global media figure, and, for the Catholic faithful, the most influential moral authority alive. The Pope leads an institution that runs over 200,000 schools and 5,000 hospitals, which makes it the largest non-government provider of healthcare services in the world. Plus, ever heard of Caritas? The Pope also oversees that, a huge network of aid agencies, the second largest in the world after the Red Cross. It's a whole global ecosystem. And while he can't pass laws in Britain or in any other state apart from the Vatican, his influence runs through education, healthcare, diplomacy, and even voting patterns. So we've established he's a powerful person, but how does he actually wield power? And how can that influence policy in your country? It's no secret the Catholic Church holds a strict anti-abortion stance. This emboldens faith-based lobbying groups and Catholic health institutions to push back against legal access. Across the world, including in parts of the UK, Catholic hospitals don't traditionally offer abortions or contraception, and some doctors opt out of certain procedures based on church teaching using conscience clauses. The Vatican also strongly condemns euthanasia and assisted dying.
Non dico che è una cosa di fede, no, è una cosa umana. Con la vita non si gioca.
In debates over legalising assisted dying in the UK, Catholic MPs and bishops often cite the Pope's teachings as justification for opposition. Many Catholic MPs vote in line with the Vatican positions because of the Church's moral framework. But it's not just healthcare. The Vatican also uses its moral leverage to steer international aid strategies. Many NGOs in Africa, Latin America and Southeast Asia are Catholic affiliated and follow church doctrine, which opposes contraception and abortion. The UK, as a donor country, partners with or funds some of these organisations, meaning British aid money may indirectly support Vatican-aligned health policies. And there's more. The Church can also influence how progressive Catholic schools are on sex education, LGBT+ inclusion and gender identity. In the UK, Catholic schools receive state funding but operate under church guidance on certain issues. For example, when the Pope reaffirms traditional teachings on marriage or gender, it can be used by school governors or lobby groups to resist progressive curriculum reforms. But sometimes the Vatican gets involved directly. Take the war in Ukraine. Pope Francis didn't pick sides, but he did send a peace envoy, Cardinal Matteo Zuppi. His mission wasn't military or political, it was moral. He lobbied for prisoner exchange, he pushed for the return of Ukrainian children taken to Russia, and he met leaders from Zelensky to Lavrov to Joe Biden, armed only with the Vatican's moral weight. Did it end the war? No. But it is an example of how the Pope can try to change the course of a conflict, sometimes the only person with access to both sides. So we've mentioned the main ways the Pope can influence policy, but the Church is not always on the same page about everything. Every pope faces conservative factions who favour sticking with tradition and progressives demanding change. For example, remember when Pope Francis suggested the Church could bless same-sex couples? not marriages, but blessings.
Se una persona è gay e cerca il Signore e ha buona volontà, ma chi sono io per giudicarla?
Well, that sparked outrage among traditionalists. Yet, for many LGBTQ plus Catholics, it didn't go far enough. Or take this example from 2019, when Pope Francis heard an argument to allow married men to be ordained in remote parts of the Amazon where communities could go months without a priest. But it sparked a backlash from conservatives who warned it would undermine celibacy everywhere, and in the end, Pope Francis didn't change the rules. Every pope performs this balancing act, no matter how progressive or conservative they are. And a new pope will soon be chosen. Whoever he is, his moral positions will echo around the world, in headlines, in parliaments, and even in your local hospital. So you don't need to be a Catholic to feel the ripple effect of what happens behind the Vatican's walls.